Hey, is that copywritten music?
I don't have no music on.
Amir, you got music on running in the background?
No, not me.
Oh yeah,
That's on.
my
I
fault.
think that's.
My fault.
All right. Queuing up the countdown.
For your fantasy games and leagues. Let's welcome in the host of Fantasy Football today, Jamie Eisenberg. Busy day.
Yo, what's going on, sports family, man? And we back at it again. What another episode of Micah and Friends, man. And we got the usual suspects in the building, man. We got my guy, Amir, checking in all the way from NY. What's going on with it, bro?
Hanging in there, bro. How about you?
Man, coolin', bro. It's a lot going on.
It is. We're about to get into it.
Man, we got some basketball talk and some football talk coming at y'all all today. Make sure you go over there, follow the podcast page at Micah and Friends. Make sure you go follow the sports page at National Sports Chat. Make sure you go over there to TOV, follow TOV Sports. This is how this whole production is being brought to you. So make sure you go there and follow TOV. And man, and for no further ado, this podcast is being sponsored by AQUANO Hydrate. Make sure you go over there and get in the IG inbox and put an order in, man. You never know what you could get. You say Mike and Friends sent you. You make it a little something extra on it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say nothing. You know what I'm saying? You make it a little extra, but let's go ahead and kick it off, bro. We gonna start it off with. We got some big business moves, and I'm gonna just let you break it to us. We got LeBron buying into, becoming one of the owners of the Boston Red Sox. So I need to get your thoughts on that. I see you rocking the Beanstown hat right now from a fellow Boston, Massachusetts native.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, it's definitely that right there just puts the icing on a cake for me, just being from the area. But I think ultimately, like, this is on a larger scale and going into more micro. I think this is what makes LeBron in that area of being considered like the GOAT. Like, you not only are making differences on the court, but you're doing things off. Certainly, Jordan, who he's always compared to, owns a team. I think he maybe has more of an ownership than LeBron would have on Liverpool than he does with the Red Sox. But it's still like that aspect of owning things that typically we didn't even have of any representation in before. Like I said, he's a part owner in 2 of maybe the top 5 to 10 sports teams in the world, that being Liverpool as well. And that's passive income. He's now going to buy his way into the Red Sox. I mean, it just opens up more doors. I mean, at the end of the day, I'll never be 6'8", 6'9", 265.
Yeah.
I definitely position myself to
hey man, you never know though. You never know. You still got time, man.
we'll see, but I think I can position myself to make the type of impact and own a team or be part owner of a team than before that. So I think it's dope. I think it's great, and I'm excited to see really what he does. I'm surprised he didn't really get involved with the New York Mets when they were actually changing ownership 100%. So like I said, it's dope to see though. I'm glad that he's able to make that type of move, because a lot of people are going to eat off of that.
Yeah. One thing to say about the move as well, this isn't the first time that he's did business with the Boston Red Sox. I believe it was like the manager or something, like Fenway something. He did business with them back in 2011. I'm not sure on those specifics, but I think this is a good move. It's needed, man, especially on what's going on today, and ownership is being the main thing. So definitely salute to him for doing that. And like you said, this does put him, in a different category than others. And I believe that LeBron he's on the level now that's like is really uncomparable. Like you got it's just GOAT status. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a pool of people that fall in that GOAT status, and he's one of them for sure. And the one thing I did see is that he's gonna, I think, like the investment group he's with, they're like actively seeking out more teams as well. So they're trying to own as many teams as possible. So that's one thing to look for as well. Like, being probably one of the first minority owners of multiple professional sports teams, and that's big, bro. So even though, like people probably like, bro, you gotta look at the percentage, man. I don't care what, it could be a half of a percent, anything, bro. It's just being able to be in that space and, being at that table. And I feel like this is going to like set a trend for the wave, bro. I feel like more people are going to like try to start doing this. Even with Patrick Mahomes, what we seen after he got that first big deal, he went to go buy part of the Kansas City Royals, and I think this just sets precedent for what's gonna go on, bro. You got any more thoughts?
I think you're saying everything needed. I think ultimately it's taking control of how many bites of the apple you can get. It's one thing when they're paying you and they dictate how long you stay a player. It's another when you're able to sit back and watch a team and you're saying, okay, I'm buying this jersey, but I also own the team. I also have stake in this. I think it just makes the athlete, specifically the black athlete, even more legitimate. And I just hope that ultimately, like you said, with Mahomes, with LeBron, and so forth, I just hope it just opens up more doors. And this is something that I want to do. This is a goal that I'm trying to have. So to see LeBron do it, and seeing it be from home, it just makes it even more realistic.
I wonder too, like will it be a conflict of interest down the line? Like, say if he like owns like 10, well, he has part ownership in 5 NBA teams, but say he outright owns like the Cleveland Cavaliers, or he's like in the front office, actively working. I wonder if that's going to like, could there be problems that arise from that? But I imagine no, because I mean, those dealings with those other organizations is just additives to the portfolio.
Yeah, I think to your point, he has so many options, because you have to remember, like he's been hands off on the Clutch Sports tip, but then you got to start looking and see, well, what's more profitable, helping out the athletes or going into the more business side? I think he's going to make so much money off the Nike endorsements that money-wise, I think he's going to really go after what's more impactful, and what's more powerful. Clearly, his people over at Clutch, they just built out their football division. They're running that. They obviously have a vice grip on the sports aspect. They haven't really done much in baseball, but I mean, I can see them with LeBron being an owner in the Red Sox. I can see that possibly being a way that they can potentially do that. Now, that could be a point of interest, but I think it just comes down to, where do you really want your impact to be felt? Do you want to run the sports side, or do you want to start branching out and going into the business ownership aspect? And I mean, hey, the world is really his man's oyster, and I'm just glad that he's able to really take advantage of it. So either way, it's going to be good, but it's excited.
Yeah, I also think too, just with the move, like, you know, I feel like it's coming at a good time because a lot of times during the season, like when we don't hear or see big moves like this, and I will hope this will motivate, you know, other guys in the league. Whether it's at, like I said, I don't even care if it's a half of a percent. Just, you know, getting guys more involved and owning what they do, you know. But if you don't have anything on that, we could go ahead and roll over to this next one, man. And this one really it really hurt me. And we gonna have a lot of good talk about this. But we got Blake Griffin going to the Brooklyn Nets. He is a fifth option. So I want to get your thoughts on that, man. Just on the whole move. And do you think it'll be able to work? And what's next for Brooklyn?
I mean, I think. Well, I'll say this: it's unfortunate that the guys that we watched growing up and that we thought were going to be like superstar pillars in the league have kind of, in many ways, resorted down to being really good role players or guys that are just situational. I think Blake is certainly one of those people. I think, as far as to answer your question, as far as the pure basketball point, I think he's not going to have the biggest impact. I think he's going to be somebody who, you know, you can't put your third, fourth, fifth best player on him. I think he'll embarrass them still. But they may have to do that because you have maybe the first and second and third best player in the league on one team, and then you have a top 10, top 5 point guard in the league on there as well. But I think he'll be a good situational piece. He'll be someone that, you know, you can rely on somewhat defensively. He's not the best defensive player, but I mean, yeah, I think he's not going to have the biggest impact, but it's still going to be one that can be felt to a degree.
Yeah, I think this move, bro, like it's taking basketball back to a place that I really hate, and I hate like when the competitiveness is out of, like, it's just totally out of the question. Like, I understand everybody wants to get a ring. Now I get it. It's getting to the point now, like, if you don't have a ring, then you just not like you're not trying at all. You know what I'm saying? Because you could easily just go somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And get a buyout, have somebody pay for your have the team that you were on pay for your whole contract, then go to this team for a veterans minimum, bro. Like, that's the way basketball is going right now is crazy. But I'm not gonna be just totally down on the move. Like, it is a good pickup for Brooklyn. I feel like they'll be able to use him wisely. And like you said, you know, you can't really put your fourth or fifth best player on him because I feel like Blake could still be able to get the better of him. But to me, he's either the fifth or the sixth option, bro. Because you have the top three that's non-negotiable. You know what I'm saying? Durant, Kyrie, Harden. Then I'm putting Joe Harris up there, bro. Like, for the fourth option, just because I feel like he contributes more than what Blake would to that organization, and just in general now. Like, Blake isn't who he was. Like you said, we grew up and thought these players was gonna be one of the ones, and unfortunately, injuries did get in the way of Blake for why I say injuries got in the way of his ceiling, but he still performed at a high level. You know, nevertheless, even last year, I think last year was like one of his best seasons. Like, he jumped like 25.
Yeah, didn't they get? Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they make it to the playoffs? Albeit it was the first round, or was it the year before that?
I think that was the year before.
Yeah, but it was.
He was dropping. I think he was dropping like 25 or something last year. But
he carried them to the first. But they got swept in the first round. If I remember correctly, but it was because of him that they even got there in the first place. To your point.
Yeah, I think that was 1 or 2 years ago. I don't know, but yeah, that definitely happened. And like I said, he's just not the player that he was. But being on this team, he's not going to have to be that player. You know what I'm saying? Like, they literally don't need anything from this man. You know what I'm saying? So he's just another body, man. Another body with a name that's on the team. And well, I'm gonna get to the other trade rumors and stuff in the next topic, but he's just another body, bro. And I feel like like I said, it's just taking the competitiveness up out of it for me. Just because it's like we seeing what happened when these teams like start like overdoing it and building real crazy. Like this is what the Warriors was. You know what I'm saying? And they not well, I don't know. I don't know if I could say it's as deadly, but this is like in line with that. And I feel like, well, I'm gonna say this: it is as deadly because the the um the players in the league are more separated. Like we have duos on a lot of different teams, so it's not like a lot of just top super teams that's playing right now. So even the Clippers, they have off nights, and the Lakers have off nights with one player being down. With with Brooklyn, shit, they could have KD down, they could have Blake down. They're not even missing Blake if he don't play, and they could have somebody else down and they'll still win, bro. So it's just to the point where it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I thought the age of super teams and having 3 to 4 superstars per team was over. But surely enough, I mean, when I think it was a lot of it was just a lot of teams couldn't get the 3 people there. And I think Brooklyn was able, kind of late to the party, but they were able to do it in their own way. I think now the big question is like, can this 3 actually get over to the top and actually win it? And it goes to
do you think they can?
I don't see too many reasons not to at least get to the finals. I think ultimately they should be able to do that. I know, Philly's doing their thing, but I think Embiid and Simmons have shown too many times that when it's time to step up and go for a 7.
And Embiid just went down. He down like, for like 2 to 3 weeks. So
yeah, so I'm not fully buying it from them. Boston, unfortunately, like they are inconsistent at best. If not, then they're consistently not going to be able to get over that top piece. I think there's all the reasons why they should be able to see the Lakers in the final spot, but sealing the deal, I don't know. I've been burned too many times. I thought Boston was going to make it last year, and
yeah,
happened. So they have all the resources to be able to do it.
Yeah, for sure. And just another thing on this, man, I think, like I said earlier, it's getting to the point to where if you don't have a ring, it like don't bother. Like you don't even bother to try to put yourself in certain categories because everybody getting rings now, bro. Like you could like last year, because just the way how I thought. Well, Harden, I feel like he ain't never leaving Houston. That's the right place for him. He love it there, bro. He went to the situation that is crazy. So it's like, bro, it's really year to year with basketball, bro. Like you never know, and anything can happen at any time, bro. And I've been seeing this, especially in during their trade deadline season and just free agency that happened this off season with the NBA. It's a lot that happens and it's a lot of pieces that get moved at very short notice. So I don't know, bro. Like I feel like we gonna keep seeing stuff like this. It's just gonna be where guys plan to group up next. Like, all right, we gonna go to Miami again, or we gonna go down to Houston. Like it just depends on where guys want to group up and when to chip at. That's how it's gonna end up, bro.
Yeah, facts. I think you raised a good question of where would that next place be. I think it just comes down to just what
New York.
Y'all can't even remember what
not Brooklyn though.
Y'all don't even value my man Patrick Ewing. So I don't know if y'all gonna treat a curse.
You can't blame that on us though, because you sometimes like I'm learning how to separate the Knicks from James Dolan. Like, we leave Dolan in a whole different little stratosphere of his own. I really want, like, bro, they need to make him, like, I know you can't make somebody sell their asset, but they need to make him get rid of that, bro. Like somebody needs to come with an offer. I don't know if he's just asking for something astronomical, but he can't, like, bro, if we getting over the edge, like I tweeted it on Twitter the other day, just because I seen Frank Nicolatina out there. I'm like, these are the type of players we gotta let just to get over the edge, bro. We got him at number 8, bro. We need to get over there. We need to leave him behind to focus on this new future with Thibodeau, Leon Rose, and Steve Stout, all those guys like that. And I feel like ownership has to change too. You know what I'm saying? Just because he has all those good foot soldiers under him, I feel like James should be out the building, bro. And I
Yeah,
think the NBA should make him get rid of it because, bro, that's the largest market in the NBA without having a good, like, bro, we haven't had a good team in years and it's still the largest market, bro. So,
I mean, y'all are very similar to Dallas in the sense of like, whether good or bad, people are still going to watch y'all. But at the same time, y'all are like Dallas, money-wise, like Dallas. So would you see Jerry Jones not making the playoffs for 3 years saying, oh, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and relinquish my spot as owner and try and give it to somebody? Hell no, he ain't doing that. And if I was doing either I own the team and I own the stadium, y'all going to have to play my game. And hopefully you can kind of get somebody in his ear that can kind of say to him, like, listen, bro, like you gotta do this, or put somebody in place who's gonna solely work with just the players and solely just work with the team itself, and he manages everything else. But I don't know. I think New York has all the reasons to be that next destination. I think the easy place to guess would be a place like LA. I think where LeBron is going to turn into more of that ambassadorial type of person and try and put more on AD to be the actual player. So I don't know. I'm thinking either LA or certainly New York could be an option too. But it really depends on how long Brooklyn can stay on top or get to the top, to be real.
For sure. Man, let's go ahead and roll over to this next topic. We have the trade rumors going on in the NBA. It's heating up. We've been talking about it in our group chat for the podcast. And I'm gonna just let you go ahead, and I need you to give your thoughts on what the Celtics need to do to be able to get over this hump in this trade and during this trade season. Because it's rumored that they're looking for John Collins. I seen LaMarcus Aldridge. I haven't seen a few people. Pretty much anybody that's 6'10" and over. That's who they're looking for.
That's been the case for how many years, where it's like we've been in this position where our name is always associated with somebody, but either the price is too high or they flat out say they don't want to come to Boston. I think it's that. And I also think that Danny Ainge himself, I think because he's still kind of riding off that fleecing that we did to Philly and that we did to Brooklyn at this point almost 10 years ago, that ended up getting Tatum, Brown, Smart, like, yeah, that worked. But I think, unfortunately, we've seen that teams have begun to still build out alongside us and have built faster and built bigger players to come to their teams. And I think ultimately we are trading off some of these first-round picks. I don't see any first-round pick in the next 2 years that we are going to be available to that's going to be able to say, okay, this player is better than Collins, or this player is better than Vucevic or Nurkic. Like, no, get these kids out of here. Put somebody in we can put somebody in now and compete now.
Yeah.
Stop Embiid. But God, can we get somebody who can try? Like, can we get somebody in there we can put in there, be a solid pillar on defense, grab rebounds, grab boards, and get the offense flowing alongside the 2 young guys or 3 young guys, really. And that means we got to trade a guy like Smart. I'd hate to see it. I think he's a heartbeat of the team. He's a lifeblood of the team. But unfortunately, guards come dime a dozen. Big men who can shoot, play defense, run the court cannot. So if we can get one of them, I want to Capella from the beginning, and now he's out there a walking double-double. So Collins would be good. The big that's down in Orlando, I think he'd be a pretty high price, but I still like him.
Vucevic, he's expensive. I think it's just because he done been to, I don't know if this past All-Star was his first one, but I think he may have been 2 so far. But he pricey now.
I mean, even like, what would you think of like an Aaron Gordon, somebody who hasn't really lived up to his draft number, but I mean, now he'd be considered maybe the 4th best player on the team. You have him primarily up to grab boards. I don't know.
I would base it off of like how much he's making right now, because I think they just read him up like last year or the year before. So I don't know, bro. I don't know, Aaron, because they really need, like, I would say they need a 5. I don't think they really need like a 4, because they could still get by with Thice. You know what I'm saying? Like Thice could still what's his buddy name? Robert
Williams.
Robert Williams, yeah. I
I
haven't
like
really heard too much from him lately, since the start of the season. But at the start of the season, he was going crazy. But I think Boston has some options, but they just need to find which one is the best for them, and they gotta. It just depends on when they want to win. Like, if they want to win right now, then they gotta be actively searching. Like, they need to try to get a LaMarcus Aldridge or something. But if they want to wait till next year and try, probably pressing their luck in the draft and seeing if they could get a young big, a young stretch big for cheap, then that's another option as well. And that usually works out. Even just look at how Miami was situated last year. They had a lot of guys on rookie deals, and when you have a lot of cheap players in there, it's easier to build around them. That allows you to bring your high level players in that's making 30, 40 million, because these young guys are just at rookie level contracts. So yeah, like they say he's open to Denver, Detroit, Rockets, and Trailblazers. Eh, I would like to see the Trailblazers. That'd be good.
Yeah. Put
That'd
somebody
be a good.
but my man Dame. Dame needs some help because ain't nobody going up there willingly.
I can't even say nobody not gonna get a ring anymore, because, bro, everybody's gonna get a ring. I was about to say, bro, Dame. I don't think Dame gonna get one just because how he wants to play the game, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't know, bro. It's just the way it's going now. Everybody gonna get a ring.
How do you feel about the rumors with Lowry? I know that for a minute he's been in conversations, or he's been topic of conversation, especially in Philly, because I think that's where he's from. I think before he re-upped with Toronto a few years back, Philly was going to be one of the top options. Do you think, really, I mean, depending on the fact that they have Ben Simmons, you can't really take the ball out of his hand because he's not a shooter. Lowry is a facilitator. He can shoot, but he's not a shooter either. How do you think that could possibly work? Or I know
I think Lowry's out the door, man, and I nobody wants to stay in Toronto, for their whole career, unless even Drake don't stay in Toronto year round. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's time for Lowry to get out of there. He and even when he does leave, I know they'll love him. Treat him like how they treat DeRozan real good, but I just think it's time for him, bro, because the way the Raptors are going, they already have Van Vliet there, and they're paying Kyle Lowry like $30 million. So that's why when we were talking about it in the chat, I'm like, man, it'll probably be best let's get a Goran Dragic who's like 19, who can't put up what Kyle Lowry's putting up, but can put up something in the ballpark, and maybe if push come to shove, like if they have to get Kendrick Nunn, then take him. But if not, shit, if I'm the Heat, I would give them a second round pick. You know what I'm saying? Dragic in the second round for Lowry, but it just depends on how they value them. So they may want 2 players. I may be tripping. They may want 2 players for Lowry and a pick. But I think Lowry definitely has to get out of town, though, bro. I think it's time for him. He don't want to be in the cold like that. Just go ahead and finish up your last years out there in Miami. And, man, it's a good situation out there as well. So it's not like he's just going somewhere just to get the bag and I'm going to retire here. Nah, he about to go out there and compete. You know what I'm saying? Because they could put him in. They can insert him day one.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree.
Yeah. It was a couple more out there, too. Let me check real quick. There's a couple more. Marcus Aldridge, bro. What's your thought? Where do you think he'll go?
So they're saying, I'm trying to check it live. They're saying he could potentially be a buyout, so he'll be able to go where he wants to go. I know that one of the teams that are focusing on him a lot. I think it'd be an ideal fit, it'd be an ideal match. I think bigs are are generally a necessity, but I mean they're more so looking for ones who can really shoot. I mean I'm saying Boston I think would definitely be one.
I think too. Who else is? Who is that I'm thinking about? JaVale McGee. I feel like y'all should probably even look at him, even though he can't shoot the ball, but just having a 5 at that size on the court, I feel like that'd be good. Like even like Brooklyn's looking into him. Of course, Brooklyn's looking into him, but, but no.
I think Boston we need to get someone who's a legitimate motherfucker that you got to prepare for. That's like, okay, you have Tatum. He's going to kind of do his thing. Brown, he's going to do his thing, but it could be a night where he may be a little cold. We need to put somebody alongside there that's like, okay, we don't, who's a legitimate mismatch to the opposing team. Like we just need somebody there with the name. I think trying to get somebody like JaVale McGee, he's good, but I think he's not the piece to take somebody over. I think they need to put
LaMarcus Aldridge. Like I said, it just depends on when they want to win, because this year they can. You know what I'm saying? Like Tatum, he's gonna always play up to point, like you just said, and Brown, he may slip a couple games, but I'm like for a whole series, he tends to hold it together. And adding somebody like LaMarcus Aldridge, who is like deadly, bro, like he could really do anything out there. I feel like that'd be a good look. And I would take on that for like a 1 year, then see what I could do in the draft, because they still have the 12th pick. I think it's like the 12th or the 14th pick.
Yeah.
And it's some good bigs coming out. Like I said, on prior, like I think it was the previous episode when I brought up Charles Bassey. You got Evan Mobley, who I'm sure won't be around till 14, because he probably going first or second, depending on how he finish out. But it's a lot of good bigs out there, stretch bigs that Boston could definitely look into. That's cheap, Yeah. But if we don't have no more on that, let's go ahead and roll over to this next one, bro. And I know the people at home, I know y'all been wanting this talk. I know y'all been like, man, we ain't been getting none of this. Hey, it's time. It is time. I got my brother here, and we about to talk about some of the biggest NFL moves going on right now, because it's busting, and the Patriots are back. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and everybody who hated what they say on that movie, anybody that owed me money, anybody who talked crazy about us is over with. Now's the time. Brady, no, we here, boy. Like, let me get your thoughts though, just on this NFL free agency, and let me hear what you think about the move so far. And I definitely want you to touch on the Patriots and just other organizations as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll start backwards and then go forward, because I think certain Patriots have kind of been the talk of the free agency. I think the key in this situation is that you got to look at the guaranteed money and the fine print. I think the numbers.
Hey, bro, what is going on? My bad, but what is going on with these voidable years, bro? Like,
so I think and contract talk is complicated. And I don't want to get too nerdy for those who don't really, because I know.
But I say this is what Baby asked, because I say that like Taysom Hill signed 4 years, $140 million for all years voidable. And I seen on the Pat McAfee show, they had Travis Kelce on there, and he was like, did you hear about that contract? And he was looking crazy. Like, what? Like, is he getting paid for quarterback or tight end? Because if he getting paid for tight end, I need to re-up again. But nah, bro, what was your thoughts on that, though?
Yeah, I mean, because again, like a voidable contract is in essence like a verbal agreement with the known. How am I going to explain this properly? Precisely, it's a formal agreement that both sides have also agreed within it that it can change and numbers can be shifted around based off of certain situations. So in the NFL sense, it's going to be primarily based around the cap and based off if they really want to keep him for years to come. So it could be a 4-year contract. However, they can easily cut him, and they both agreed to leave pretty much clean, easy, right down the middle, with no sides owing any money or anyone having to give money back. So his contract is still going. So technically it's a 5-year contract because he signed last year. So he still has that other contract to finish out, but they have not yet begun that new contract. So therefore it's completely voidable if the team so chooses. And for him, he's like, I'll take that, because if they for some reason choose to keep me, it's $140 million and I don't need to restructure it. So then they can either cut or they can,
but
or they
you
can,
know they ain't gonna do that.
I mean, it would be chaotic at best. I think they tried to keep him there because they weren't too sure what they were going to do with Jameis. And now
My
that
thing is like, where does it bite them at? Because I know, like, you just because you just can't. Like, you could just sign somebody at an astronomical number now. Like, man, we about to sign. I don't want to say that because we about to get into that, but we about to sign Sam Darnold to a 10-year, $670 million contract, 9 years voidable. like what the hell?
I mean,
only $5 million guaranteed for the first year. So niggas,
Yeah.
like, I wonder if there's like a penalty or something like that they have to pay for making these years voidable.
I think it could be that. Or I think it's also just, I don't think it's going to be super popular, because you'll have certain guys. If we want to use Donald, for example, he has a really good year. I'm not walking in there with no voidable contract. Like, I'm putting a no trade clause.
For sure.
Franchise tag again. I need X amount of money guaranteed at the moment that my name inks on the contract.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'd be. People said the same thing when Kirk Cousins signed that 100% guaranteed contract a couple of years ago. People were like, "Is that going to change the game?" Whole time, he's the only one who's done it. Everybody else is taking the longer contracts with more money guaranteed, but there's still to be made based off incentives. So I don't know. I think it's just to be. And on top of that, COVID has really fucked up a lot of people's money in these teams. The Saints being it was 65 mil over the cap. To put it in perspective, the Patriots had 60 mil to spend. So, and with all of those people that we've signed, I think we've only used $30 million for this year alone. So people are saying that we're overpaying. No, when you really peel back the numbers and you start seeing how much we're paying people, I mean, we're paying, for example, Jonnu Smith. I want to say it's maybe $11 million this year, but he's getting a $50 million deal. So if you
let me find these numbers. You can keep talking.
Yeah, if you put the math down, you're gonna say, okay, well, no. If you say that, you're only gonna really pay him 32. Well, there we go. You're really 32 based off incentives. You're not really gonna be giving him that full 50 million. It just sounds good, and the incentives may be easy in some degree, but I think he has to be considered an all-pro. He's never been an all-pro, so it's things like that. Hunter Henry, the same type of situation.
3 years, 37.5 million. Jonnu was 4 years, 50 million. And Judon is 4 years, 56. But I don't know if here it's just like voidable, because he
even then, if you look at it, because typically, especially in the NFL, let's say he has a 4 year, 56 mil. Typically, guaranteed money will be looking at about 30, 35, 36 of it, a little over half. I think his guaranteed money is only like 28 mil, something like that. So you're still putting a lot of money on the table. And I think really looking at all this stuff, they're all around the 3 to 4 year period. Really, because I think in 2023, the cap is going to go right back up crazy because of the new TV deal they're going to have. So
I think it's going to go up. Well, yeah, because it'll be season 2022-23.
Yeah.
Because the TV deal doesn't kick in this season, it kick in next year. That's what I was about to tell you too. That's one thing I noticed, that I'm seeing a lot of guys just taking that 1 year like short. Like, man, I'm gonna go get this little 5.5 or this 7.5 over here, and then I'm gonna re-up when that TV money drop and the satchel drop, you know, and get that big one. So yeah, I've been noticing that too.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm glad that at least the Patriots are getting people in there that are going to compete, because last year it was painful. It was painful. Still, even a lot of guys there to be had. I mean, Kenny Golladay, he's still a free agent. Curtis Samuel, he's still somebody. I like Curtis Samuel a lot. You have Will Jackson, had a really good year. I think he's going to get picked up soon. You got Melvin Ingram, one of the older pass rushers, but still a really good piece.
Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, Watkins is going to be there too. You still have Hassan Reddick, an edge rusher out of Arizona. He's still really good. You still got Juju. You still got 3 of the 4 top receivers there if you want to add
OBJ.
Yeah. Now, I think you got to get him in trade, but I mean, I think they'll probably trade Gilmore. So if you move Gilmore, I'll give Gilmore in the third for Odell coming off a knee injury.
Bro, hold on real quick. Real quick. Because a lot of people, and I try to explain this to people, bro, Bill's timing, bro, is perfect. And his timing still would have been perfect. Like I feel like he would have won that year that where he was trying to get rid of Brady and keep Garoppolo. I still feel like he would have won that year. But granted, Brady went on to won two after that. But it's still like, bro, his knowledge, like him knowing when a player is about to expire is like prime time. Even look at Malcolm Butler. He made the play of the Super Bowl. And he was kind of like a scrub that next year. But granted, he came back. Like he's a solid vet. But it was like, bro, he let go of him at the right time. And not saying that Gilmore is going to be a scrub in any world, but sometimes it gets to a point to where it's like, hey, man, we don't need that. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of young corners. We got Joe. I think it's Joe Johns Jackson.
Jonathan.
And he came out the draft from last year. He was number 27. He a real good corner.
Oh, you talking about Jackson?
Yeah. Then we got Patrick Chung coming. That's the other thing, bro. We got the opt-ins coming back. So we got Patrick Chung coming back. We got Hightower coming back. And I'm sure Bill is gonna pick up Cal Vanoy. He's still out there to be grabbed. And I feel like he liked those type of players to where he could get them for a low number, and those type of players that's gonna contribute. And he already been through the system, won there, been a part of everything. So I feel like Bill definitely knows what he's doing, and I feel like this is like the most exciting time of football right now.
Yeah. What would you say is maybe one of the bigger, most impactful moves? I'll start by saying I think that Looney deal with Joe Looney going to Kansas City, getting that 5 years, $80 million. I think that they needed. They cut both of their tackles and pretty much are rebuilding their entire offensive line.
And the center is a free agent.
Yeah, so I mean, it's interesting seeing how they're doing that, considering the fact that they're trying to do it in the midst of him being in his prime. I don't remember any quarterback whose whole entire line had to be reconfigured in the middle of his prime, especially with the 2 tackles being off. You have Fisher, who was drafted there, number 1 overall, and then you have Schwartz, which is one of the top right tackles. They're both free agents now. I'm interested to see how they do that, but I think that was a really big, crucial piece. And then a lot of people are hating, but I really do think the 2 tight ends that we got are going to be very vital. Trent Williams is still available, so even though it's big, I think as we watch today going into the weekend, it's going to really start picking up.
I think the biggest ones it had to be Bud Dupree, and it had to be Bud, and it had to be Shaq Barrett. And it's just like, bro, those teams typically, like, going into any other season, and especially with the cap going down before the NFL is allowing teams to do these voidable years that they're doing now. Players like Levante David or Shaq Barrett would have been gone because they just wouldn't have been able to get that money there. Which I still think Sue will probably be leaving because I know he's going to want the money instead of trying to run it back. But usually, like, bro, those type of deals, those are hard to get done, especially with a team like that that's so thick with talent, man. Like, it's hard. So that's a big one, and that's a game changer. And Bud Dupree, because the Steelers, bro, the Steelers are about to lose a lot, bro. I really don't know what they're going to do, what their plans are, because you got Juju walking out the door. You got Bud Dupree that's gone. We don't know what Ben is. You know what I'm saying? So, and they were trash. They weren't trash last year, but when it was time for the rubber to hit the road, they ended up being trash. So, I just don't know, bro. I feel like we'll see a lot we'll have a lot of answers by the fourth game in the season, because by then we will know whether Ben is ready to retire or not. Um, whether just a lot, bro. Whether the Chiefs are looking good, with the Buccaneers look like, and where other players have went. But I think those are like two of the biggest moves right now. What's your thoughts on Drew Brees' retirement?
I
And what
mean,
does that mean for the Saints? Who do you think is up next, Jameis or Taysom Hill?
yeah. Well, I think to the first point of really kind of giving my opinion on him retiring, I think it was a good move. I think at this point he's shown that unfortunately he wasn't the player of
Mm-hmm.
years prior. I think that he's really one of the greatest quarterbacks that we've ever seen. I think stat wise, he never had multiple bona fide receivers. He never had a super high powered offense for his entire career. He had really good pieces. But he definitely didn't have two Hall of Fame receivers at the same exact time, i.e. a Rodney Harrison and a Reggie Wayne type of guy. But he still leads, or he's number 2 in every important quarterback statistic that we record. Worked his ass off, probably the greatest free agent signing of all time. Imagine what would happen if Nick Saban was still with Miami and they were able to get him and he passed that visit. It's a lot of could have changed if he did that. He completely changed the Saints' trajectory. I mean, the Saints were not a legitimate team before he got there. I'm happy for him. I'm glad. And then on top of that, he's fallen into another bag by working at NBC doing Sunday Night Football. So I'm happy for him. I'm glad that he's leaving healthy. He's walking out on 2 feet. Of course, you would wish he would have got another ring, but that's the kind of game playing the NFC. And
it was looking hopeless last season when them ribs got to when that happened. I'm like, bro, I don't know if he trying to go out dying or what. Like, come on, Drew.
I'm with you. But yeah, I said, like, I think people would wish he got another ring or 2, but you can say the same thing about Aaron Rodgers. He got his ring, but his 5th year in the league, and people were like, oh, he's going to at least 4 more. He hasn't even been back. So I'm glad he is. As far as next up, I think they don't even fully know. I think they got 2 guys that they like. I don't consider Tyson a legitimate quarterback. I don't think they really do either. I think James has a lot of potential, but just needs to kind of develop his leadership and his decision making. Still a young guy, has all of the skills to do well. They signed him for, I think they gave him 1 year, $12 million, and it's with incentives and everything like that. So I agree with what we're saying and think that he's going to be a piece that could potentially, be the option going down pack. But I can see them potentially drafting a quarterback if Mac Jones slips down, if Kyle Trask, the quarterback out of Florida, if he slips down, I can see getting another.
I think they had him like 2nd round, bro.
Yeah,
because he was like slated for 2nd or 3rd round for real.
Yeah. I mean, he was running up for the Heisman. He was doing his thing for a minute. So I mean, we look at the top 5 and we see them, with the Lances and the Fields and all of that. But there's still a couple guys that are developmental pieces that have certain components but may not be ready to start. Right now. So I think they're going to be in a situation. I think they're really going to be similar to the Patriots, where they're going to have a little carousel of guys trying to get into get in there to see who can fit until they're able to kind of just say, we're going to chalk it up to the game. We're going to go 7-9, 8-8, get the 16th, 17th pick, and try and package that with 4 pieces and try and move up. But I think under Jameis, I think they can be competitive. They just need to figure out. I need to see what their team looks like post free agency, because I think they lost a couple pieces. They had to release a couple.
I think they got Hendrickson back though, the edge rusher, but they did lose some pieces.
I think he got paid. Yeah, he went to Cincinnati, a 4 year, $60 million.
Sheesh! I thought he had stayed. That's crazy.
He got paid, and I think they cut a couple guys into tackle position. So we'll see. I think I'm interested to see how it's going to look, but it just puts things back in perspective. The team that we thought was going to be a sneaky Super Bowl contender now lost their quarterback. Defense is going to look different. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay, they re-signed every single person that they needed to re-sign.
Literally every single person.
Yes.
But for me, just to respond to that Drew Brees, man, I'm like you said, I'm happy for him to retire. I think it was time. 80,000 yards. I feel like he's gonna go down as one of the GOATs because he was able to get so much out of what he is. You know, being a 6 foot quarterback is hard, bro. Like he had the most 5,000 yard seasons, which is like 5 of them, and it's only 12. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he had almost half of the 5,000 yard season. So, bro, he's just one of the ones that's rare to come by, and he's the people's champ, bro. Like, it's gonna be forever hard to be against somebody who stood up for people, especially people in color in a time of a natural disaster. And he did that, bro. And I feel like that's why, even though I know he did something to where it had came off like he was insensitive to it was something that happened, but even that, like, you see how that get like tossed under the rug, because it's like, bro, it's Drew Brees, bro, at the end of the day. So we know what he's about, and we know who he is, and we know what he does. So that gets sweeps under the rug, you know, just being ignorant to something that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But I do think it's Winston next, bro. I don't think it's Taysom. I feel like they need to use him like how they use him as a gadget. It's cool if he runs some plays at quarterback, but shit, Jameis Winston, his last season in Tampa Bay, threw 5,000 yards. Granted, 30 interceptions, but just think if he cut that to 20, you know what I'm saying? He probably could have had almost 5,200 yards. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Jameis still got some juice there, but the exception of failure, like the window is so small, bro. Like, he can't really be, you know, turning the ball over too much and not succeeding out there, because Sean Payton will definitely get him out of there. And you could tell Sean, like, he's letting both the guys know, like, really both y'all get out of here, because, you know, these 4 years on Taysom is voidable. So, I mean, after this year, it is what it is. We could go get anything we want. So, yeah, bro. I like I said, it was a good look for Drew Brees to retire for sure. Happy he's out of there. And even though he didn't go out with another ring, I feel like he still went out on top. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely. And to your point with Jameis, I mean, we looked at it with, again, I hate to bring it back up, but look at Tampa. The team wasn't much different. Yeah, they added AB, and, you know, they got the offensive line a little bit better. But I think statistically they showed that most of his interceptions were not because of the offensive line. It was because of his decision making. So shit, I mean, you see them, they go 7-9, 8-8, miss the playoffs. Same team, 11-5, 10-6, and wins a Super Bowl. And and people are trying to say that they're going to go undefeated this year. So, I mean, yeah, he's going to be the pendulum that switches it. But they still got Kamara. They still have Malcolm Thomas. They still got those guys on the defensive side, cornerback and linebacker that they got to kind of lead that team. I think in the draft they might either go defensive line or they might go linebacker. Potentially could get another corner. I think they may need another person alongside Lattimore, who actually is in the last year of his contract too. So we got to see what they're doing with him. I think his play's kind of falling off. He's another guy I really like. So we'll see. I think they'll figure it out. Sean Payton's still there. He's still going to be calling the plays. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, bro. Let me get before we roll up into this next topic, we're gonna stop, pause, and give us a brief intermission real quick and give you a video brought to you by AQUANO Hydrate. Stay tuned. This podcast is being sponsored by AQUANO Hydrate. Make sure you go over there on Instagram, shoot them a DM, and let them know you want an order of a case of this water, man. And make sure you put Micah and friends in the message, and you may get a discount, man. You never know. Make sure you go over there and check AQUANO Hydrate out, and let's get back to this podcast. And we back, man. Like I said, shout out to AQUANO Hydrate. Make sure you go over there, put your orders in, and say Mike and friends sent you. But let's get on to this last topic. And we got the Dak contract, man. I need to get your thoughts on this. This was so much back and forth with the organization. And one thing I can say, Dak was quiet the whole time. He didn't really speak. He let his agent do the talking. But he ended up what did he ended up getting? I think it was 4 years, 160 or
104 years, 160 mil. Yeah.
75 million in the first year. Like just astronomical numbers, bro. So I just want to get your thoughts on this Dak Prescott contract. Do you think this was a good move for Dallas? Do you think they overpaid or do you think they paid just right? 40 million a year.
Uh, so I mean, when it comes to quarterbacks, there's really not too many options that you have. It's either you're going to pay the guy what the market is, or you're going to let him walk and try and run the risk of trying to get another one. I think the what they saw last year and how they have a lot of pieces offensively to score points, but you know, offensively they have a lot of patches to kind of fill. Do you want to take on a massive hole and leave a quarterback there and have Dak go somewhere else and be successful? Or do you want to just re-sign the guy who, you know, for the first 4 years has played on a minimum contract, he's a third, fourth round pick? Are we going to sign him or are we going to not? Personally, I would have really tried to do it earlier and got him in before that $40 million hit, but they weren't trying to do that. I get into this argument with people all the time where I really don't feel as though Dak is a top 10 quarterback, and everyone kind of gives me different reasons why.
Me neither.
People tend to give a lot of reasons why he is. People say that the defense followed and whatever. So I think we're going to see this year. We're going to see, okay, you give him the money. You're coming off the foot injury or the ankle injury rather, but I mean, it's a bone fracture. He looks like he's back. They had the training video come out. He looks good to go. We need to fix a couple holes on that offensive line and get a couple guys on defense, but we're going to see how it looks. But at the end of the day, you got to pay what the market bears. And I mean, we're going down the list. I mean, I think the next best quarterback that would have been available would have been Jameis Winston. I'll take that for Jameis. So I think their hands were kind of tied and all that. So we'll see. I don't know.
I think they should have just got off of him, bro. Well, no, he was no, they couldn't. That's wrong. But I feel like they if they didn't believe in him, because now even though they did sign him and did give him a boatload of money, I still feel like that feeling is still there. Like, bro, y'all just franchise tagged me. Y'all was damn near about to do it another season if I would have had the exact same season and I didn't get injured. But instead, y'all probably felt a little bad, threw me this bag right now. And I feel like, bro, like, that's still gonna come back, and that's gonna forever be in Dak's mind. And this is nothing but the bed that Dallas has made for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, to me, he's not a top 10 quarterback, bro. He's like middle of the road, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I thought it should have been like between 36 to 38, you know, and especially last week when they came out that he was looking for a deal right behind Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, I don't know about that, you know. So, but they were able to get it done, man. And I just think that this is the bid that Dallas laid for themselves. Do I think it's like really just a terrible deal? No, I feel like Dak could be able to prove that he's worth it, but I don't think he's going to be able to win a Super Bowl, anything that I know Jerry Jones would want from playing a player like this. So, man, I think it's just a tough situation. We still, like you said, it's still a lot of questions on Dak. We've seen the training video, but we never know till a guy gets in there, get back under fire. And even then, we still wouldn't know maybe into halfway into the season to see how he's reacting to these hits, to see how he's feeling, to see if he misses games. And usually Dak is a quarterback that's very durable. So it's going to be a lot of things that people are going to be watching for next season.
No, definitely. And like I said, as far as the money, you gotta, when you wait long enough, you gotta pay what everybody else is gonna get. I think what he really did though, on a larger scale, is that it makes you start looking side eye at what are the guys up in Buffalo gonna do, and what are them guys down in Baltimore gonna do? Because you got two guys.
There's no question.
Yeah, you got two guys who are like, well, shoot, I've been to the playoffs. I've been an MVP. If Dak can get 4 years, 60, and Deshaun Watson, who hasn't really been, who I consider a top 10 guy, but hasn't really, made that big game changing impact to the playoff wise.
I'm gonna give you a hot take. I think Lamar is gonna had the highest per year contract when it's time for him.
Over you
Like if they don't do it at the right time, I feel like he'll have the highest per year because granted, Mahomes' deal, even though it's a lot of money, it's still like team friendly for what Mahomes is. Like 45 a year. Like you can't really beat that. I feel like somebody like Lamar, he may get like 47.5, 46.5. Cause I feel like Baltimore they pay for their talent, bro. Like they pay Flacco. You know what I'm saying? So
I hope so. I hope that man runs to the bank, but I'm not. I don't know. I think Mahomes has shown that like he's his own tier.
next level.
I also think a lot of guys respect him enough to be able to say, "Hey, I may be close to him, I'm not him," respectfully.
Yeah.
So I want money in that ballpark. I want to be able to go to the same restaurants as that man, but we don't gotta. If he owns it, I'll just be a lifetime member type thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I really think a team like Buffalo is going to really pull back the Brinks trucks, but it's all going to be because of this deal with Dak. I think those two contracts are going to come up. Should I even think with the rookie that's that's in LA, Herbert? I think he's somebody.
Yeah.
I think he's somebody who's shown 2 years into. They may even lock him up long term just to kind of get it out the way. I'll give him 4 years.
That's the smart thing because it end like once you prorate it out, it'll end up being cheaper. So now, like I said, what Dallas did, they literally Dak had no years that they could give him. Like Mahomes had, that's why his deal was so fun because he still had 2 more years. So it's really a 12-year deal, but it's on a 10-year extension. So he's still getting paid, like the same base he was getting paid, but they're able to space that money out. And the Cowboys didn't do themselves justice by doing that. I felt like I don't know who they had in the front office or what scouting personnel, but they should have known like okay, like that last year they should have known like hey, we need to go ahead and get him right now. You know what I'm saying? So, because the cap isn't gonna do anything but keep going up and up. So it's like okay, now you already have Deshaun at 40. Watson at 40. You have Mahomes at 45. Now you got guys. I think Jared Goff is at like 36. Like the market is just gonna keep raising. So what you want to do is lock a good quarterback in at a prorated amount. Like Justin Herbert, hey man, we got 30 for you a year, and that's gonna end up paying for itself. You know what I'm saying? So
I think to your point, that's if I was working in the front office, that's how I would try and convince guys. It's like, okay, hey, you may not be getting what you would get 3 or 4 years from now, but
you're getting paid now.
Yeah, on a rookie deal, I can give you $30 million for the next 5 years. Why not? If I'm 21, 22 with the team, if I'm Herbert's agent, I would say, okay, they're showing that they're committed to you. You getting it done early kind of allows them to start working the cap. We can try and get things done. We may be able to, and then on top of that, the earlier that you sign that long-term deal, let's say you sign that deal at 25, you do a 4-year deal at 25. Now you're getting another bite of that apple at 29 years old. You're not even at 30s yet. You could do another 5-year deal. And then if you take up the Brady technique and eat avocado fucking ice cream, you could do a third deal, and you're doing now you're doing 3 deals, $200 million each. Now you're getting to that money. So I mean, I guess
you're killing the game.
Yeah, if it were me, that would be my game. I'll try and get guys in, but that's how it used to be back in the day before they configured up the rookie deals. You start paying guys straight out of school 29, 30 million, and you just have to pay it.
But
so.
I feel like I wouldn't do it straight out. I would let at least like a year and like a season and a half go by. Like, because when Mahomes stepped in, it was just literally the eye test. Like some guys, like your eyes will tell you, like, okay, he's about to be one of the ones. So you definitely got to knock those ones out early. Like you said with Herbert, like it's all about time value of money. And I'm hearing Dr. Washington's voice in my head, bro. I hate that, but just time value of money, man. Like getting paid. What would that be? Let's even prorate it out over 4 years. So that'd be $120 million for 4 years. for Justin Herbert. Let's say he gets that extension halfway into this season.
Now,
So
6 years, 100, and he's maybe getting
40 million with
you're getting
probably
20 now.
100 guaranteed. Like you getting like I get it. Like it's probably not gonna be where you want to be at that time, but hey, you getting 100 the day you come in and sign this, you getting $100 million right now. So no matter what happens, so I just feel like they teams just got to get smarter about how they navigate and scout talent and know when it's time for them to get paid.
Yeah, yeah, and even real quick,
Got to
going back.
keep the books clean.
Yep, and then I was actually going to say to that exact point. I think that's something that Dallas is going to have to really think long and hard about. You have 5 guys being paid in the top 3 to 5 in their position. That's not how you keep the books clean at all. You got to pay Dak. That Zeke deal is not looking good.
Zeke is gone, bro. After this year, if he doesn't, because I think he's averaging like 64 yards, 60 or 64 or 65 yards a game, bro. That's barely 1,000.
Yeah,
Like 1,000 a season, bro. And he getting paid, I don't know, something astronomical.
pay like
But
almost 15 mil. He's getting paid like wide receiver money. So you're
yeah,
gonna
bro. He gonna be out of there, bro.
you got to get Dexter Lawrence, the edge rusher who had like no sacks this year. He's getting paid top 5. You
Oh,
got
you talking about DeMarcus Lawrence? Yeah.
yeah. And you have Smith, dude, linebacker, went to Notre Dame. Forgot his whole entire name, but he's getting paid top tier money. You have Van Der Esch that you got to pay.
Van Der Esch, who broke his collarbone.
Yeah, so I mean, you got a lot of things that you got to figure out. I know the linemen guys. I think they were already paid a few years ago, but they're starting to get long in the twos. You got to get another guy.
They got a lineman that has like a 10-year contract, bro. It's like a 10 or 11-year contract. Like it's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like you said, bro. They just got to do better with cleaning up the books. There's a lot of other moves too that didn't happen. Let me see. Let me upload the tracker before we hop off of here and see if there's any more current moves that happen. Let me see.
I'm taking a look at it right now. Corey Davis went to the Jets. Shaquille Griffin, the corner out of Seattle, went to Jacksonville. I think that's a pretty good pick. They gave him a lot of money, though. Yannick Ngakoue went to the Raiders, 2 years, 26 mil. You still got a lot of guys who are available, so we're gonna see how it goes. I think once the official free agency period starts, because it hasn't even started yet. That's the crazy part. A lot of these contracts are just verbal agreements. So once they get to that point, we're going to be good to go. But I think getting Micah back.
Yo.
Yep, can you hear me?
Let me refresh. You can keep going. My audio isn't picking up yet.
Gotcha. Yeah, no. So like I said, we there's going to be a lot of movement still. We're still looking for the Trent Williams situation to kind of see itself out. A lot of the receivers are still available. We still have Kenny Golladay. We still have Curtis Samuel, as I mentioned. So
I'm back.
Gotcha, perfect. So yeah, I was just saying there's still a lot of movement to be made. So
yeah. I was saying too. Which one was I? What was that contract I mentioned last? Where do you think Juju is going? And Patrick Peterson is still out there, but I think he's an old 30, bro. Like I don't know if if you could really pay him big dollars, bro, because he's really an old 30. So where do you think Juju's going, and where do you think Patrick Peterson is going?
I can see Juju going to a Jacksonville. They already have a few guys there already. He'd be a very good number 1A or 1B alongside DJ Chark, who they got down there, who's another big body receiver. They got Laviska Shenault coming out there too. You get down there with Trevor Lawrence, that's going to be a show. I could see him going to maybe a Miami and bolstering him up alongside Devontae Parker. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets throw another bag at another receiver, and
that'd be tough, bro.
That'd be interesting
because one, you got Parker, then you go get Juju, then I think they have like the 6th pick, and they were like scheduled to get like Devontae Smith from Alabama.
Yeah,
Waddle's out there. Oh, they got the 3rd. Waddle's out there. I don't know if you still remember Jamar Chase. He had played his freshman year and just
sat out.
Yeah, he just sat out. Like, bro, I'm
all,
done, bro.
Yeah, he's the best all around. I was more of a CeeDee Lamb guy. I always knew CeeDee Lamb was a dog, but Jamar may be the best overall NFL ready receiver. He's not going to beast you with the speed, but he's a full body receiver in every sense of the word. Jump ball, run after catch, big body. He's good to.
I thought he was better than Jefferson too. Jordan Jefferson.
He won Receiver of the Year. Jefferson was the and Jefferson balled out this year. So
and we got Marshall too from LSU coming in. So we get some pieces out there.
Yeah, and as far as Peterson, I mean, I think if he's smart, he's gonna go somewhere where he can try and compete. I think if a lot of things have to move, if I could see him potentially going to a Cleveland if they need another corner. I could see them going to a Pittsburgh if they need another corner. I think Joe Hayden is got either released or his contract went out. I could see him going slick to a Kansas City. They need another corner. So
I knew you was about to say it, bro. That's why I ain't say that. I'm like, let me just see if he said it, because that would be crazy.
Yeah, you need Kansas
Peterson and Matthew.
You need Dallas too. Dallas can take another corner. I would if Dallas want to throw me a little bit of money, I can go to Dallas. No state tax. I think he's feeling got to move too far. That would be another option too. So he got options. New England, if we get rid of Gilmore, we might need another guy who can play the slot or play nickel. So I mean, he has options. If I were him, you've made the money. Now you want to start going for a championship. I would really go back to Arizona, honestly, with that defense that they got with J.J. Watt. How much you want to pay me to come back? $5 or $6 million for one more year? I would take that.
Man, I think Kansas City, bro. I would love to see him out there just because he's already been played with Honey Badger, so him getting on to building chemistry with him, that'd come overnight. You know what I'm saying? There's no onboarding process for that. But man, that'd be big, bro. That's why I ain't say nothing. I'm like, let me see what he say. Let me see what teams he put out there. But I think that'd be big, bro. Because they need it. Like, Kansas City needs it, bro. Like, Breland gets cooked. And I know people like, bro, Breland, like, no. Don't try to tell me he good and the other parts of the defense be getting cooked. So that bro. No, he gets cooked.
Yeah. No, I think with them, they're just going to it's all going to be around the money, what they do in the draft. I think they're going to probably, because they also need linebacker help. So I think that's where they maybe go in the first round. But I can definitely see going to a competitor and saying, hey, and to your point, because Honey Badger really is his mentee. He's the one who kind of got him right. Because they played with each other in Arizona. And then he ended up going to, he went to Houston for a year, then got the big bag.
Houston for like a year or two, then
big bag in Kansas City. So it could definitely be they need it there. So we'll see. But at the same time, we have a few other guys that are going to probably get first that are in their 20s, early 30s. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. There's gonna be a lot of stuff coming at everybody, man. And I think we just at the start of this free agency talk. We haven't even really gotten to the trades. We still got the draft coming up and all that. But other than that, man, you got anything else, Amir?
Nah, I think we touched on all the main points. Shout out to Nate and Cotton. I know Cotton's down there, man. Shout out to them.
Shout out to that boy Cott, man. He out there in Georgetown, the Hoyas, the hoop team. Shout out to them. They out there, they putting on, man. They won the Big East, and Cott, he's a part of that. So make sure y'all go over there and tell him congratulations on his latest post. Like you said, definitely shout out to Nate. Both NBPA, they could be agents now. So we big news coming this way. So definitely shout out to the boys, man. But man, real talk, I really want everybody to comment below and let me know what you all thought about this episode, and not even just the episode, just the football talk in general. And if you want us to come at you all with more of that, because that's in the pot. That's getting cooked up right now. You know what I'm saying? So definitely let me know what you all think about that. And we'll keep coming back at you all with this football talk and still give you basketball, of course. But I just need to hear y'all thoughts and get y'all reactions on that. Shout out to National Sports Chat, the page, the brand, all that. Make sure you go to YouTube, IG, follow us on everything. Micah and Friends, follow us. Follow Amir's personal page. Follow Nate Cott, my personal page. TLV Sports, this whole production is being brought to you by them. Make sure you go over there, tell Dave we said what up. Go follow them. YouTube, IG, Periscope, Facebook, AQUANO Hydrate, IG, and put your orders in. And other than that, man, we checking in and we checking out. Another episode of Micah and Friends. Yes, sir. Appreciate you all for tuning in, man, checking out this podcast. Make sure you go over to YouTube, IG, like, comment, subscribe, follow us on everything. Go over there to Micah and Friends podcast on IG and National Sports Chat on YouTube. We're going to keep this content coming at you, man. Appreciate y'all for checking in.
Here is something you can't understand. How I just keep killing, man. I'm from the South Rim, spinning like ceiling fans. Gambling with life, no complaining about the dealer hand. Back when niggas used to ride around the Dipset. Now these cops will shoot you on your live, that's a killer cam.